So obviously, GoDaddy is the leading domain name registrar in the world, but a lot of their growth has been coming from other parts of their business. Maybe you could just start by sharing, your view on the overall competitive advantages of GoDaddy, the overall strengths of the business.
Well, I think one of the main competitive advantages is actually the domain name, the base that GoDaddy manages. So, obviously, from a revenue perspective, it's not going to generate much revenue because obviously there's overhead. The majority of overhead actually is domains, and there's not much margin on them either. But that's really your on-ramp onto the internet, right? I mean, to be able to, anyone to look up your site, you have some type of domain name or link to that. So having that amount, the customer base as well as the domain names under management allows you to attach everything else that applies to a website essentially. I think the other competitive advantage is GoDaddy wasn't really focused on later on, we started opening up some enterprise and mid-market groups, but for the most part, GoDaddy's bread and butter was SMBs, right? So the whole culture and thought process behind the organization was, we're here to globally shift the focus to small businesses and create an environment that supports them, right? It's the whole thought of, the mom and pops don't necessarily get thought about, and if anyone, a lot of mom and pops don't understand how to get online, and so we're here to help them. So I think that model and that viewpoint and culture provides the real competitive advantage. Other companies that I work with, within the same space, obviously a lot of them look at the bigger deals and like to partner with the large logos. And while that definitely does drive business, I personally like having the volume-based approach to where you're attracting as many customers as possible for a very long time before we had even the Super Bowl commercials. It was word of mouth. I mean, I think it was 70-80% word of mouth was how we generate our business. And so obviously those are more sticky type customers that stay with you for long periods of time.
And your most recent role, you were director of customer insights at GoDaddy. How would you describe? You mentioned mom and pops, and that's my impression of a lot of these small businesses that use GoDaddy. Just be curious if you could share just a bit more on, what kinds of businesses are these, and why would they pick GoDaddy versus going to like Wix or Squarespace or Weebly or somewhere else to build their website?
As far as describing them as far as like a set business segment, there really wasn't just a set business segment. It ran the gamut. I mean, when I started on the phone at GoDaddy in 2006, and in talking to customers, there was never like one major type of customer that contacted us. Unfortunately, back in the day, I'm not sure if you were following GoDaddy, 10, 12 years ago, a company obviously had a rap for, TNA marketing and things like that to kind of generate conversation and, some shock value piece to it. But that's really not the type of customer. I mean, I always got questions like, hey, do you work for a porn company, or, is that all you do business with? And while you saw that every once in a while because, hey, it's the internet, it was not that, right? It was plumbers, lawyers. I had just come from the Yellow Page industry right before GoDaddy, and pretty much all of the various business types that I dealt with at the Yellow Pages, I also talked to at GoDaddy as they were trying to set up their websites. So as far as being able to break down a certain segment, it's going to be very difficult because it ran the gamut.
Okay.
As far as between Wix and Squarespace, it definitely became, from a cleanliness standpoint, in terms of like the quality of website builder, initially, honestly, as Wix kind of launched and Squarespace launched some of their big campaigns in the Super Bowl, if we're competitive analysis, I think they were better than GoDaddy initially with the Website Tonight product that we had, and that's why there was this big investment into GoCentral to actually make the website builder more friendly, make sure that we actually had a mobile focus. Because, mobile is obviously, where everyone's leaning towards, and you have to have, make sure your website's mobile friendly or it's not going to get utilized quite as much. And so we were behind for a little while at that time, and like I said, that's why GoCentral was such a large